welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine you're building a team to launch a massive project, something that needs to endure for generations. You'd normally hire the absolute top-tier talent, right? Like the Ivy League grads.
Yeah, industry heavyweights. I mean, that is the conventional playbook.
Right, but today we're unpacking an audio devotional from Pastor Huza Kiang, and he argues the exact opposite. He suggests that bypassing the quote-unquote elite in favor of the willing might actually be the ultimate growth hack.
Which honestly sounds like a great way to tank a company. We naturally gravitate toward established experts because it feels like we're mitigating risk. But if you analyze how some of the most enduring historical movements actually scale, skipping the elite is a recurring theme.
It really is. I mean, look at first century Judea. If you're launching a massive cultural movement, the logical hiring pool is Jerusalem.
Right, the Pharisees, the Sadducees.
The formally trained rabbis, exactly. Yet Jesus, who was just a carpenter's son and a self-taught rabbi himself, completely bypasses them. He goes to the Sea of Galilee and recruits these rugged, uneducated fishermen. James, John, Peter.
And Andrew. Yeah, it's the equivalent of a disruptive tech startup intentionally ignoring computer science graduates to hire
guys who build fishing boats on the weekend.
Right.
Which I really struggle with. Why intentionally handicap your organization by avoiding the experts?
Well, because it's only a handicap if you value legacy knowledge over adaptability, you know? The religious elites of that era carried this massive burden of rigid preconceptions.
They already quote-unquote knew how the system worked.
Exactly, making them highly resistant to anything unconventional. But the fishermen, they were a blank slate. They didn't have to spend years unlearning an institutionalized framework before they could adopt a new one.
Wait, but you still need confidence, right? Like, a blank slate is useless if they literally cannot execute. Even in this devotional, Paul is mentioned, and he actually was part of the highly educated elite.
True, but Paul was recruited much later. That was once the foundation was already set by the amateurs. The initial phase of radical innovation requires agility and faith, not institutional arrogance.
That makes a lot of sense. And that brings up a massive friction point in how we hire today. We are so obsessed with pedigree.
Oh, absolutely.
In Taiwan, for example, corporate culture is notoriously fixated on top-tier universities. The Big Four, known as Tai, Cheng, King, and Jiao.
Yeah.
If you don't have one of those acronyms on your resume, the algorithms usually just filter you out.
Which is mathematically flawed if you're actually looking for long-term retention. I mean, a degree from a prestigious university just proves you're exceptionally good at passing tests in a highly structured environment.
Right, and a decade-long career is basically unstructured chaos. I call it the resume half-life. A shiny degree gets your foot in the door, but it decays quickly. What keeps you in the building is grit.
Yeah, the pastor uses his own daughter as an example of this. She's survived the high-pressure finance sector for over 10 years.
And not because of some elite secular finance degree, but because of the deep stability and character cultivated in her local environment. But let me push back on this a little bit. Aren't we over-romanticizing character? Sometimes you just need hard technical skills.
Hard skills definitely matter, but they are much easier to teach than resilience or, emotional intelligence. When hiring algorithms systemically overvalue initial credentials, they filter out the hidden metrics of success.
Like ethical grounding.
Yeah, and the ability to adapt when the textbook solution just fails.
So how does this play out when the textbook hasn't even been written yet? Like with AI. The devotional highlights this fascinating situation in Hualien. It's a rural county, population around 320,000, and it suffers from a severe brain drain.
Right. The youth leave for big city tech jobs.
Exactly. Leaving the local Beipu church with volunteers who have absolutely zero tech background.
Zero. Yeah, this group of rural non-tech volunteers formed an AI service group to produce daily broadcasts.
They're described as fishermen in the AI world. But come on, how does humility and willingness actually translate to mastering artificial intelligence? You can't just character your way into complex tech.
Well, you can if the technology itself favors adaptability over legacy skills. I mean, modern AI models don't require you to write Python.
They require you to communicate clearly and iterate quickly.
Right, and have a clear purpose. A seasoned software engineer might actually be hindered by trying to force AI into traditional programming logic. These volunteers didn't have that baggage.
So their lack of technical pedigree was an advantage. Because their innovation is driven entirely by mission. They have a strong desire to serve their community, and AI is just the tool they picked up to do it.
Precisely. They learned without Edo, meaning their progress outpaced those who had the formal qualifications but lacked the intrinsic drive.
Wow. This really flips how we should look at building a team. So, for you listening right now, evaluate your own collaborations. Are you blinding yourself with a shiny resume, or are you actively seeking out the willing learner?
We really need to shift from judging people solely on what they have already done to evaluating what they're truly willing to learn.
Which leaves you with this to chew on. If historical movements and rural AI initiatives can be successfully driven by enthusiastic, completely unqualified amateurs, what bold project are you avoiding right now simply because you think you don't have the right credentials to start?